What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Strictly Sports. I am B Wise,
Mallz.
Trigga.
and we are back with our last episode of 2024. How y'all doing today, fellas?
Blessed and highly favored.
That's right.
Feeling rowdy.
You feeling rowdy?
Oh yeah, we getting
So let's hop in.
routed.
Let's hop into the first topic. Why you ducking that smoke, Mouse? Why you ducking that smoke? Why you ducking that smoke, bro?
Because I just got the game. I just got the game yesterday. He trying to redeem himself for what happened in July, y'all.
They don't talk about that. We don't talk about past, bro. We don't talk about our past. We don't talk about that. I want that get back. I want that to get back one.
Oh,
And like I said, Carolina, we just won a Super Bowl on Madden. So I'm getting my get
I'm
back.
still trying to figure out my team. Still trying to figure out my team to play with.
That's what I like about Madden. But playing online, I like Madden because I can play somebody with the Panthers and they got the 49ers and I can beat you as long as you know how to play the game. It's not OP. Like it's if you know how to play the game and play defense and call offense, you can play. But all right, let's go to the real start. We're gonna start with Mal's message. What you got for us, brother?
Man, if y'all watched the pre-show, we went on for about 30 minutes. It's a
We
crazy
was on
world
for
we
an
live.
hour, brother.
A team that won 13 games is gonna have to win all their games on the road. NFL, it's time for a change.
Nah.
And also, let's bring back the top two seeds get a bye. Let's bring that back.
Why you don't like the current way it is?
And I just like maybe because I was so used to the old way. I like the top two teams getting the bye. Get rid of that 17. They ain't gonna never win it anyway.
Well, you know the NFL is about to go to probably 18 games next year, and then no telling what they're going to after that. Well, not next year, but they're going to 18 games here soon. So I guess we'll see about that. All right. Anything else
If they
for us, Mom? Oh,
have two buys, I said if they go to 18 games, they got to either have two buys or get
yeah,
rid of
they're gonna have
Thursday
two
night
buys.
football.
They're gonna have two buys,
They gonna have two
early buy
buys.
and a late buy. Yeah.
So shit, the season ain't going until March.
Well, I think they said. Well, Roger Goodell was explaining on Pat. He said if they add another week, the Super Bowl will be on President's Day, so you get a 3-day weekend for Super Bowl weekend for people who jobs do that, careers, all that kind of stuff. Somebody in here playing Madden right now.
Mm.
Trigga over there playing Madden. He don't think we know, but we here.
All
So
right.
Roger Goodell really trying to throw the NBA out of business. Same weekend as All Star Weekend.
We gonna touch on that as we get in later because I got that topic in there. All right, Miles. Let's go into Trigga. What you got for us today?
Well, we didn't have anything about the
All
New
right, I'm
York
done.
Yankees or
I'm,
baseball on the.
I don't- are you done? I'm
No,
sorry,
we didn't
Trigga.
have anything about. No, you good. We didn't have anything about baseball on the plans tonight, so I figured I'll make that part of my rant. So, I praise the Yankees all off season after losing out on Juan Soto. They did everything they could to get him back. They didn't disrespect him in any way when they made the offer to him. I really thought they put their best foot forward. And then after losing out on him, they made a bunch of great signings and filled some spots that were of need. Um, but I hate to sound greedy and feel like we aren't we're still missing something. But we are. Now the Yankees have gone out. They've got a first baseman. They got another outfielder. They went and got pitching. They got relievers. They're still on the market apparently to sign another reliever, at least one more lefty reliever. They went out and got the best closer in baseball, or one of the best closers in baseball. Um, they went out and got a really good starting pitcher for that rotation. That starting rotation may be the nastiest starting rotation in all of baseball. Um, The thing that bothers me the most right now is the hole they have at third base or second base, depending on where you want to put Jazz. Jazz came over to trade from Miami right before the deadline earlier this year, and Jazz is a second baseman. Now they moved him to third. You could tell Jazz was learning from third. That was where he was. He's never played third base in the majors, and he showed signs, but he also showed signs that he wasn't a third baseman. That was evident. Now this year around, he'll have a full off season to prepare there. However, I still would like to see him at second and see the Yankees go out and get the third baseman. So the Yankees aren't going to go sign an actual third baseman. You're talking about the free agents or guys available via trade. Nolan Arenado, Alex Bregman is still out there. Alex Bregman's contract or demands the money that he wants is going to be too much for the Yankees to pay, of course. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of crazy to think about, but it is what it is. Arenado, they could trade for, but for whatever reason he doesn't fit them. I don't know why that is, but all right. There is another guy with the Cardinals that I wish the Yankees would go after, but they probably won't. But his name is Brendan Donovan. He's currently their second baseman, who also has more experience at third base than Jazz does. So you can bring him in to play either position or put him at third, move Jazz to second, and you get the same production that you just lost from Gleyber Torres. Plus, you get a good defender, and he's a lefty, which they need in their lineup. They need more balance with the left-handed hitter. But this dude is a superstar in the making. He's still young. He hits for average. He's a great defender, left-handed bat, and that's exactly what you need if you're the New York Yankees as another infielder that you need to solidify that infield, that defense, and get that same production on offense as well. But a trade for him probably would be costly, but would be worth it because you get him and you got 2-3 years with him before you have to pay him or before he hits free agency or whatever. It doesn't get any better than that. But of course, the Yankees won't make that move. What they're probably going to do is go towards an in-house option, which means DJ LeMahieu, who I hate. He's a good defender, but his bat sucks. He's an automatic out when he comes up to the plate. And you got Oswald Peraza, who is unproven. And you got Oswaldo Cabrera, who is our utility guy. He plays just about any position. I've seen him play every position for the Yankees except catcher. This man even pitched one time last year. So he is a decent player, but he doesn't play enough to where he's as consistent as Yankees fans want him to be. He's not an everyday guy. He comes in based off matchups. Certain players are out of the lineup, resting, injured, whatever. He's out there. He's not an everyday guy, so he's not going to give you consistent numbers because he doesn't play every day. But he's one of those guys that you put in the lineup. If you're a team and you're rebuilding, you put him out there every day and see what you got. But if you're the New York Yankees or a team like the Yankees and you're trying to win now, you don't have time to experiment to see if a guy can do what they can. So the best bet is for them to go trade, because I think right now, as far as free agency goes, they can't spend a lot more big dollars on big-time dudes like Alex Bregman to bring in. So their best route is going to either be via trade or in-house. They should go trade for Brendan Donovan, who's my favorite, or Nico Horner from the Cubs. He's also second baseman, or Luis Arraez, who just hits the ball. I mean, he just gets on base. One of those three guys, bring them in. You're great. Arraez, I'm not excited about his defense, but he gonna hit above 300. You need that in your lineup. But the Yankees are probably gonna go with somebody in house, and it's gonna be underwhelming. It's gonna be sad, and there's gonna be still a hole in that lineup until they go out and get an actual stud to play that position. So, sum it all up, I'm proud of what they've done in free agency, all the names that they've signed. If anything, I'd rather be top heavy with the pitching versus guys who can put the ball in play, which the Yankees are top heavy on the pitching. They went out and got Max Fried, good start rotation. They went out and got a couple relievers, and then they're still in the market for one more reliever. So they stacked up on the pitching, which pitching wins championships. So I'd rather have a team where you got a bunch of guys who can pitch. If we can't hit, guess what? The other team ain't gonna hit either. So something got to give. So I feel at least confident with that. We got guys, outside of Aaron Judge who can't put the ball in play. At least our pitcher has hopefully not given up a bunch of runs to the other team and keeping the game close. So we get that one big hit that might be the difference in winning the ball game for us. So I'm confident going into this season with the roster as is. If they're going to use an in-house option to plug in second or third base, but I think we'd be even scarier and an even better team if we're able to get an actual
How you doing?
Make a trade and get an actual second baseman or third baseman to come in and give us what we need. But outside of that, it's still a long off season. There's still some time left to go get guys, but I just got the feeling that they aren't. That's gonna piss me off. But good job so far.
Trigga. All roads lead to Boston. We know that. So I'm sorry, Mallz. I think I cut your time a little bit early. If you are still here with us.
No, you good. No, you good.
So you got the MLB. I had to open floor later because I didn't know if we wanted to talk MLB, NCAA basketball. I haven't dived deep into it yet. I saw Boston did sign somebody the other day that I think is big. Was it Bueller? Or
yes, the Red Sox. They got Garrett Crochet and they signed Walker Bueller. So they definitely made huge upgrade to their starting pitching rotation. Definitely the second best pitching rotation behind the Yankees in the AL East. And they will probably be our only competition this year. The Red Sox, it'll be between the Red Sox and the Yankees, I think, because the other three teams didn't really do much. They lost guys. They didn't really gain anybody. The Rays are, they're not going to be, I don't picture them being any better than they were last year. The Blue Jays, same deal. And then the Orioles, they lost Corbin Burns. They did sign Tyler O'Neill, but their pitching staff does not look great right now by any means. And Anthony Santander, I don't know if he's going to be back as a Baltimore Oriole. He's still a free agent. He's still out there. So if he goes and signs elsewhere, that would be a huge loss to him because that's 44 home runs, something. He hit like 40-something home runs. Yeah, that's going to be a huge loss. So Orioles going backwards.
Boston's going for it. But let's dive into the NFL, fellas. I believe this was Mallz' take. The run game returning to the NFL. Is it that teams are not what?
No, what you about to say?
I was gonna say, is it more of teams not as balanced, or is it more dominant to run because they can't pass because of defenses, or do we think it's the running back by committee, multiple things? What y'all got?
I just think it's coming back. There was one point in time where, it was just throw. But, the game, every so often game changes. It goes back to, how it was. They, realize, all right, look, you run the football, you control the clock, you keep your defense off the field. Quarterback stays healthy. I was before this week, it was only like two players that only had 4,000 yards passing. And it's just like, whoa, that's, you really don't see that now. Running is going up. Saquon has rushed for 2,000. Derrick Henry has like 1,800. I think it's lovely.
Josh Jacobs is up there.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs.
Chuba Hubbard.
Hell, even Rico Dowdle got 1,000 yards, and he won't even start running back for every game this season.
Right, and with the game left, I just think it's good to see running the football. It does so much for you. If you got a young quarterback, it takes a lot of pressure off him. Run the ball. He plays mistake free. Like I said, keep your defense fresh. Time of possession. So that's how you old school win football games. So it's good to see the running game returning like that. Hopefully it'll stay like that. And then when you have a good running game, it opens up the passing game. So you put that eighth, ninth guy in the box, and then you hit him over top. Are you doing dip?
No, I got sunflower seeds.
Oh.
Right. I got a question because I wanted you made me think about something today when I was going over these topics. Is it I think the running game is making a resurgence, but is it also the fact that the NFL is a copycat league and all these coordinators and offensive head coaches are coming from the same tree and it's the West Coast system and the Shanahams and it's the same thing over and over again every week. So the defenses are so used to it to where it's just like there's only a certain amount of routes you can run in the route tree and combinations and schemes and stuff you can do to where Trey did make a point to where it's not a lot of good receivers, but I think it is a lot of good receivers, but it's not a lot of good CD, Justin Jefferson's, Jamar
Yeah,
Chase.
it's not a
That's
bunch of
right.
elite
Yeah.
level receivers like that.
But I think a lot of these systems are making guys look good, like a Nico Collins, who had a resurgence when he got down there to Houston with CJ Stroud. And I think a lot of this running, too, is you're seeing a lot of good offensive lines in front of these good running backs, too. So,
Well, and, offensive linemen, they love running plays because they get to run to the defender, whereas passing, the defender runs, the D line runs to them. Also, I think the drop, the old pro style quarterback, reading defenses, staying in the pocket. I think that's a dying breed. A lot of these quarterbacks are more athletic than they used to be. So a lot of the running game, the quarterbacks have a lot to do with the running game as well. So if they're running the ball more, it takes away from the pass. So,
Yep. See Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
mm-hmm.
Those
So
two are the biggest ones right there. But
yeah,
yeah,
Lamar broke big record, didn't he?
I
mm-hmm.
believe so. But yeah, I think it's more teams now going running back by committee. You still got a few who like the Eagles who use Saquon primarily, the Ravens using Derrick Henry primarily, the Packers using Josh Jacobs primarily. Like you still see a few guys who are that bell cow 3 down running back. But most teams like Detroit, by committee, Tampa Bay by committee, Dallas is by committee until Rico Dowdle pretty much solidified that starting role. A bunch of others. I mean, everyone's doing it now because one, I think I mentioned this in the past, is keeping the running backs a little bit healthier. It's keeping a lot of reps off of them, a lot of wear and tear off of them, and two, they can't demand big contracts if they're not out putting up big numbers either. So if you're splitting the load between 2, 3 running backs, you know the numbers that they come up with aren't going to be as big as if for just one running back doing it all by himself. So they can't demand but so much money in free agency. So I think it's a smart move by a lot of teams to have that running back by committee thing going, so that they ain't got to worry about paying a running back a ridiculous amount of money, because we see every year, certain running backs come due, and like a lot of people are hesitant to pay them. That's why so many of them were on the market this past off season, um, or were traded before they even had a conversation about getting paid, um, because it's a position that is not a very long position in the NFL. You got guys who can give you maybe 5, 6 years, of good quality production before they start to drop off, statistically speaking. Um, you do get your unicorns like an Adrian Peterson or Frank Gore. It seems like you just play forever, but those guys are few and far in between, so you don't really get that a whole lot. So yeah, I think running back by committee is putting up those numbers, and then you got more and more quarterbacks who are more athletic. They're more willing to take off and run the ball. You got more RPO style plays put in the playbook for these more athletic quarterbacks. You don't really see the traditional, stand back in the pocket and throw it unless you're a Matthew Stafford or Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, um, those types of dudes. Everybody else, they can beat you with the arm, or they can get yards with their legs. So you got to account for both of those things when you're playing against them.
I agree. I agree. I agree. All right. So let's go into the next topic. I don't know if y'all want to start or y'all want me to start. What did we get wrong about the Cowboys and Panthers this year?
Absolutely nothing about Dallas.
I said, we ain't getting nothing wrong about Dallas. I said they was gonna win 8 games. They won 7, and with 1 game left. We didn't get nothing wrong about Dallas. We knew who we thought they were.
Yeah, I think I predicted them to win like 6 or 7 games.
Yeah. Um.
So y'all just gonna leave me out here like that because I said Carolina was going to the playoffs.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you got look. If people call Cowboys fan delusional, I ain't nothing delusional about anything. I think about Dallas. I look. I tell the truth. I
Mm-hmm.
tell the truth
No,
about the
nope, nope,
Cowboys.
nope. I'm gonna stop you right there because that is who said that Dallas was gonna put up 30 points this week.
Oh, I
I
was
did.
being sarcastic.
Yeah, I
I
did.
definitely did not mean that.
Well, no. I didn't say. I said they were gonna win the game, but I remember I
No,
said the
Trigger
prediction.
said they was gonna put up 30 points.
Oh,
Yeah, I said that, but I did it. I was being silly. I didn't mean that.
yeah. I said Dallas was gonna win 13-10, and yeah.
I, I underbid
Dallas
like a mother.
scored
I
13
underbid like
points
a mother.
total.
Mm-hmm.
They scored 13 points total against Philly in 2 games this season. 13 points.
Oh,
I think
that's pretty good.
they got outscored with 75-13 or something like that.
So it's the
First time
50.
Philly has swept Dallas in the regular season since 2011.
Mm.
Well,
Oh,
I
so
thought the
Trigger.
Panthers. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, Trigger.
no, you go ahead.
So we talked about it during the pregame show. Mike McCarthy's a free agent after Sunday, so you can't fire him.
Yeah, I hope he
So should
signs
you?
somewhere else.
Okay, I'm about to say, but if you're Mike McCarthy, do you come back to Dallas? If
I
Jerry offers
wouldn't.
you, okay.
No, I could see Mike McCarthy like in the interviews, post game, and I know he hears all the stuff on all these sports shows and everything. Like, I know he's tired of dealing with Jerry. He got to be tired. Then, like, for me, what did it like if it were me, if I were Mike McCarthy, what would have done it for me was Jerry Jones going out and making a trade for Trey Lance without running that by Mike McCarthy. Like, if I'm the head coach and you go out and trade for a guy and bring him in and not, talk to me about it, or at least, say, hey, have the decency to say, hey, we're gonna go get so and so. We think he'd be great, whatever, whatever. Like, if I'm finding out the same way everybody else is, I get a notification, on my phone saying the Cowboys unsigned. Like, that to me is just that tells me everything that you need to know about what Jerry Jones thinks about Mike McCarthy as a head coach. Like, yes, he owns the team. He does what he wants. He doesn't have to answer to anybody. But is that not undermining your head coach by going out and doing things without, letting him know about it? Like,
Um, Now for Jerry's standpoint, no, because he's done it before. When
well,
Jimmy
yeah, I know
Johnson,
that.
yeah, because I mean, when Jimmy Johnson was the coach, he signed Charles Haley without notifying Jimmy. Now, granted, that was a good signing, but at the end of the day, this is what Jerry does. So,
Yeah,
to be
but like,
surprised, so
yeah,
should Mike
so
McCarthy be surprised about it? I don't think he should.
yeah, but at the same time, it's like you see how that man operates. It's like you have no control over the roster, and you got to account for guys that you didn't think you had to account for, and maybe change up your offense, like do all these things because he went out and did something without your knowledge. Like, to me, and I could just the look on his face, like the sound of his voice when that happened, it was just like I felt embarrassed for him. And yes,
Hmm.
Jerry has a track record of doing things like this, but like I felt embarrassed for him, and I can only imagine if like I was in his shoes, how I would feel, and I would feel like I would feel disrespected and undermined. I would feel like you know, well, clearly he doesn't think I know what I'm doing with the guys we have, and I would look at it as a slap in the face if I'm a player on the team. Like, you going out and
Yeah.
just doing like like it's just other owners don't do stuff like this. And like that's just one example. Like Jerry is like, the interviews after games, you know, how he handles these players' contracts, like all these things, the moves that he doesn't make that he should make, making excuses like, and then for him, like this is when I was really done with him when he said that you had to change your, Derrick Henry doesn't fit what they do. What do you like? No, you're no. Derrick Henry is not supposed to fit what you do. You're supposed to fit what you want to do around Derrick Henry. Like, does this guy have any idea how superstar players work? Like, you don't make them fit a system. You fit the system. around him. They are the system. Like, and that just like those little comments, like, from the head coach, like I'm going somewhere else when I ain't got to deal with that.
Right.
Like
But
I
Trigga,
just am. I feel like Mike McCarthy, like these 5 years, man, like he's done a great job, in the regular season. Like, you go 12-5 3 years in a row, like that's not an easy feat by any means. Like it's a gauntlet, None of those games are easy by any stretch of the imagination. So like you got to give Mike McCarthy credit. Now where he's falling short is at the playoffs. Like you can't escape that, and I'm not going to let him off the hook for that. Like terrible coach in terms of preparing the team and getting them ready for playoff victory for playoff battles, I should say. So
And clock management.
and clock management, penalties, discipline has been a huge issue the entire time. The entire time he's been the head coach. Like the penalties get worse and worse every year. Like
is this
something's got to
clock
be done
management?
about the penalties.
Is this
Yeah, the
clock
penalties.
management as bad as Raheem Morris?
No, but
Yeah.
if that were
Eberflus?
him, no, but if that were him, they would have ripped him a new one. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard a lot about that. I wonder why. But if Mike McCarthy were to do it, they still be talking about it right now. Monday Night Football game, Detroit and San Fran. They talking about Mike McCarthy mismanaging the clock.
So
Any
can
other
I play devil's
NFL coach
advocate?
does it? Don't say nothing. What's
I play
up?
devil's advocate with y'all that the reason that Mike McCarthy stays in Dallas is because he gives Jerry the line and the rope to be Jerry. I was listening to somebody say this. Mike McCarthy will let Jerry do it. He'll let him do the press conferences. He'll let him have control of the team. He'll let him do all this. I'm fine with that, Jerry. Give me another 3, 4, 5 year contract. I'll let you be you.
And that's what Jerry wants.
Because
Jerry wants a coach that's not going to challenge that. Jerry wants a coach that's going to let him do what he wants. And as a result, Jerry does what he wants. He's literally going to do what he wants. So, yeah, Mike McCarthy or whoever will have the title of head coach of the team, but they know deep down who's really running that team.
Vrabel's not going to let you do that.
Hell,
Carroll's not going to let you do
Jerry
that. Ron
Jones might
Rivera's
as
not
well.
going to let you do that.
Jerry Jones might as well be down there on the sideline with a headset on and a play sheet in his hand at this point.
I just think that Mike McCarthy is probably going to be your best option with the way that Jerry operates. So, I mean, I saw that Ron Rivera's interviewing with the Jets. That's big. So I don't see any other coach really available that's not new. Ben Johnson's not even going to let that happen. I mean, look how picky Ben Johnson has been in his search. So it's like, I think Mike McCarthy is, unless it's somebody who wants a second chance. You don't have Bill Belichick available no more. Who else is a retread that you want to take
not getting him last season?
A Brian Flores? Would a Brian Flores let Jerry Jones do that? Probably not, because they got the issues going on with the NFL right now too. So I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah. It'll be coaches out there. It'll be coordinators available. I think it'll be more people out there for him to pick from than people are talking about. Like people make it seem like Bill Belichick went to UNC. The Cowboys ain't got no options. It's going to be some options out there, but he got to go pull from the college ranks. If there's going to be, there's going to be coordinators like Cliff Kingsbury, or Ben Johnson. These coordinators, these guys. There's other
Johnson ain't coming. Ben Johnson ain't coming.
Who will be available. I'm not saying that they are, but I'm just saying that there will be options outside of Mike McCarthy. But I think that because Mike McCarthy went on a stretch where they've won 4 out of 6, that he's done enough to keep his job, given the injuries, lost a starting quarterback. CeeDee Lamb's gone now. DeMarcus Lawrence out for the season. Michael Parsons missed half the games. They've been rotating in quarterbacks like the last 6 weeks. Trayvon Diggs out for the year. All the injuries. I think given all the injuries and, everything that's happened, and them still having a chance to make the playoffs up until last week, I think Jerry Jones probably has changed his tune now and might extend them another year or two. I feel like that's what's going to happen is Mike McCarthy is going to get an offer from Dallas and he's going to take it versus him going and coaching somewhere else. Because what other job out there will be available that's attractive outside of Dallas?
For Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, who else?
Ohio State.
Who's looking for in the NFL? Who's looking for a head coaching NFL next year.
Jets, maybe Patriots, maybe Raiders, Saints. We did it on the pre-show.
Well, for the Patriots, who's your quarterback for the Patriots?
Drake May. You got a quarterback. Drake May ain't bad.
See, all those teams though, the Jets, like they about to blow that whole thing up after this season went. I find it hard to believe. I mean, you got Garrett Wilson, you got Brees Hall, but like,
Garrett want to get traded
Adams,
if Aaron come back.
Aaron Rodgers, like, are they going to be around? Tyron Smith, is he going to be around? Like, all these guys that went out to go get Hassan Reddick, did they lock him up? Is he on an extended deal, or is it just a 1-year thing?
I think they were trying to work on the contract. That's why he didn't come in. Sauce Gardner, you can pay Sauce.
Yeah, I mean, this whole team, I mean, I think they still got some good young talent, but I just don't see, is that job really attractive for McCarthy? That media. I know he's dealing with it in Dallas and, all that comes with that, but that New York media is different.
I think me and Mallz said
out of
this show. What about Chicago?
I think Chicago will be a good fit for McCarthy. Go back to the NFC
He
North.
knows the division. Yep.
He knows the division. Good. In cold weather. He's got a nice young team, a good young quarterback who's shown some signs that he could actually be good. I like that for him. If they're able to keep that team together, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze is going to be there. Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift's the running back. Had an okay defense. I like Chicago for McCarthy. I know Pete Carroll's interested in that job, allegedly.
Don't do that.
What?
Because Chicago's defense had people thinking that they was contenders in the beginning of the season.
Well, yeah, they weren't. And as I said, they were okay, and then they weren't.
Don't do that.
So I don't know what happened, but
we lost our third.
I like that for McCarthy. I think that would be a good fit for him. He go up there, he coach, familiarization, all that. Yeah, nice young quarterback. They got the franchise quarterback. They got a franchise receiver, supposedly in Rome. A lot of people are saying that he's a bust, but it's just 1 year. Give him some time.
Yeah, they're saying that about XL, but I think Xavier Legette, I mean, he get it together. He'll be out. He getting open. He just got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
But I think making some good coons.
Yeah, I like McCarthy in Chicago.
Do you think McCarthy becomes an OC? Or is he too?
I think he's more of a defensive coach, ain't he?
I'm not sure.
No, he's offensive coach. No, he's offense.
Offense. I'm thinking about somebody else then. But yeah, maybe. He wanted to call plays. Why Kellen Moore ain't there no more? So.
Hey, I was listening to Pat McAfee today. I'm going off topic, but it's going to go into our next one with the quarterback controversy. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers 1 year in Indianapolis?
Aaron Rodgers going to Indianapolis for a year?
With Shane Steichen.
Does he want to?
Shane Steichen. We got the offense. He said he's fine with being a bridge. He's fine with taking a pay cut. He's fine with mentoring. Let him go down there 1 or 2 years. Get what's his name? Anthony Richardson. Get him trained up.
Didn't
go
Joe
down there,
Flacco
take a team that's
already?
ready to go. I mean, what did I tell y'all in the group chat? Joe Flacco, it's 2 things that are certain: taxes and Joe Flacco gonna give you a pick. Dang, Mallz must be driving. But
I reckon, but I feel like we've seen this movie 1,000 times with the Colts. So like they get every quarterback that's on their way out to come through there. Like they did it with
that was Frank Wright.
They did it with who was it? They did
Phillip
it with
Rivers.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers,
Matt Ryan.
Did Carson Wentz, but he started
Carson
there for
Wentz.
him. I mean, now Aaron Rodgers. Hell, just go and get Tom Brady out the booth. Bring him in there at this point.
I think Tom could come in and win some games. I think Tom could come in and win some games.
He probably could.
I don't. After that playoff game he had, his last game he looked horrible. He good where he at.
Hey, well, they put up that Tampa Bay team put up 48 on us, but we ain't gonna talk about that. All right, let's talk about the Minnesota quarterback controversy. So I changed my tune for where I was at with this. I said you couldn't keep Sam Darnold, but again, I was listening to Pat McAfee, and then they made a great point that I didn't even think about. You can keep Sam Darnold on the franchise tag. You don't have to give him a contract. If y'all can't work out something, say, hey, we want to keep you for 2, you want 4, I'm a franchise tag you. So what's your thoughts? You can't get rid of him now. After what
Well,
that
I
locker
think is
room,
if you franchise him, is he gonna hold out?
if you hold out, then I go to JJ. The franchise tag is $43 million. If you hold out for $43 million, it's an issue.
I think that's pretty good money for Sam
All
Darnold.
right, but
Mm-hmm.
it's
But
good
you
money,
think
but he
about
doesn't have
Patrick
the
Mahomes is
security.
getting like 50, and
Yeah,
then
he's getting
Dak's making
43 million, but he's
60.
not getting the security. I
Yeah,
think
that's
more
true.
so security.
Yeah,
But
and you can't really blame him for that either, too.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
get it.
especially when he's known to get hurt.
Because you can do it like Shanahan, or you can do it like Green Bay. It's like Green Bay, like, all right, now we got Aaron Rodgers. He's not going nowhere. So JJ, you sit on the bench for 2 to 3 years. We see what we got. Especially if we get a first round bye, you sit on the bench, learn. You're coming off a major ACL surgery, so you need a year to get your mind back into it. So that's 1 year right there. You spend another year sitting there learning. You could do Sam Darnold on a 3-year deal, because then
All
after
right,
2 years,
but here's the thing though, with Brett Favre when they drafted Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre was in his mid to late 30s. When they drafted Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers was in his mid to late 30s.
Sam
Sam
Darnold is younger than
he's
Joe
26.
Burrow, and he's younger than Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, so you're talking about 10 more years. You really think Jay is gonna sit on the bench for 10 years?
You think you got Justin Jefferson for 10 years?
Oh no.
I really think it's. Here's my thing about what y'all was saying. I think number one wide receivers make a difference. It's a complete difference.
Mm.
Having somebody that you can roll coverage to, it makes a difference in all these games. If I'm playing against Jamar Chase, CD Lamb, AJ Brown, um, Justin Jefferson, I can't put 8 in the box. I can't put 8 in the box because you hit me with a play action. But then if I don't put 8 in the box, you're gonna hit me with Aaron Jones, who is the Vikings don't. I'm not the Bengals really don't have a running back. Well, Chase Brown. Chase Brown's a good back. You get hit. So, do you give Sam Darnold $50 million? Is the question I'm coming to.
I don't know if I give him 50.
You're gonna have to give him 50.
Well, I mean, let's see what he do in the playoffs. Now, if he wins the Super Bowl, then yeah, you got to write him a blank check.
According to Mallz logic, he is the number 1 seed. He done won. Let's say he won number 1 seed.
All right, but so I got a question though. If you win the Super Bowl, does Minnesota like, all right, we got our Super Bowl, so we can rebuild, or you're like, all right, let's try to build a dynasty?
You can't rebuild with Justin Jefferson on that contract.
Mm.
I don't think you can
but my
rebuild.
thing with it is with Justin Jefferson already with that big contract, then you give Sam Darnold. So now you starting to make me think because you give Sam Darnold that big contract, then you have to let players go. Whereas JJ, he's still on his rookie deal. You can I don't know. It's a
That's
good
true.
problem to have.
Because now, if you do get Stephon Gilmore gets his Super Bowl, so
We
he'll
ain't
probably.
started talking about Daniel Jones yet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about you. And you got Daniel Jones,
They
a
ain't started
playoff
talking
winning
about him yet.
quarterback. You got a playoff winning quarterback
Talking
on your
about
roster.
JJ and Sam Darnold. What about Daniel
Yeah,
Jones?
dang, Trigga, good point. Why would you go get Daniel Jones?
They
Why
got
would you go
3.
get Daniel Jones if you was gonna keep Sam?
No, you got Daniel Jones in case of Sam got hurt. Daniel Jones is not gonna be there this offseason.
So, where does Daniel Jones go? That's
Jets.
the next time. You think Daniel Jones the Jets?
Go back to New York. That'd be some stuff right there, wouldn't it? Oh, I
I
hope
just
that
sold my
happens.
house, damn it.
I hope it happens.
Hey, you saw Drew. Oh no, I'm going off topic, but Drew Lock just balled out for the Giants. But you're right. It is a good problem to have. You got to pay Sam at least 40. You have to pay him at least 40 million. So do you want to give him a $120 million contract, 80 million guaranteed? Let's say 80 to $90 million guaranteed. 3 years, 120.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just, yeah, I probably would. You just don't know what you're gonna get from JJ. Me personally, I don't see the big riff in JJ at Michigan. I think he was running a loaded team and a great coach.
So what the
I did
Vikings
not think,
are?
huh?
So what the Vikings are? A great team with a good coach,
But yeah, I don't see JJ throwing 36 touchdowns either.
brother. You can go out there and throw 20 to Lamar. I mean to Justin Jefferson.
Shit.
You can go out there and get 20 to Justin Jefferson.
Nah, brother.
Hey, look, 3 A's. Just give me a slant. I'm gonna get it there. I would get it there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my eyes closed when I throw it too. You got 300-pound lineman running at me. Hell
You playing like
no.
Dak? You playing like Dak Prescott? Not they're throwing the ball with your eyes closed.
Hey, no, I'm
Just
small. I'm a smaller quarterback, so every time you hit me, I'm just gonna duck to the head every time. Roughing the passer, illegal contact to the head every time. But yeah, I think Minnesota has a good problem. I think we'll see. We'll see what happens. But all right, let's move on. Peaks and pitfalls for the playoffs. Trigga, as you can see in the picture, are the Green Bay Packers frauds? According to
I didn't completely call them frauds. I said they were teetering towards being a fraudulent team.
no, Mallz, what do you say in the message?
I can look it up.
I can pull it up. Yeah,
I said consider. I said
I
said should we consider? Those were my words.
Hold on, Trigga. We about to read it now.
Okay.
I think he said frauds.
Yeah, he just said. Yeah, you just said. Actually, you said it twice. You said fraud. No, Brandon, that was you.
I said frauds. Hold on.
Yeah, that was you,
It's the
Brandon.
wrong team. I don't know what you're talking about. He said Alabama's frauds. He done said a couple people frauds this year. I gotta find it.
Hold on, I'm looking for it.
I did say it. I said, but I said that in response to we talking about the NFC North and our playoff debate that we had and telling you today that whole division ain't play nobody this year, so we can't.
Yeah, that won't trigger. That was you who said that.
Oh no, that's blasphemy.
Hold on.
He said, I think it's.
Yeah, he said, yep, he did.
I think it's time to consider putting.
Yep.
That's what I said. I said consider, right?
Tomato.
I didn't flat out call them frauds. I said maybe we should consider it, given how they looked against good teams. But I will say this with Green Bay.
I said frauds. They haven't played no one. I did say that.
4 of their 5 losses have come to 2 teams, both in their division, who are very good, in the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. The other loss came to Philly. And they had some good wins at the time against teams that will be in the playoffs like Houston. Miami's kind of borderline. They're still in the playoff picture. And then they had another win against the Rams, who were struggling when they beat them, but the Rams are like a different team now. But I'll give them credit. So they got some wins against 500-win teams. However, I just feel like in these big games I've seen them in, the game against Detroit a couple weeks ago, the game against Minnesota yesterday, they just haven't delivered. And I'm a little scared for Green Bay because they've looked good. They got their quarterback. Jordan Love looks like he's finally comfortable and has grown into that role of being a starting quarterback in this league.
Lateral for a touchdown.
Yeah, I know that's crazy, ain't it? It was 2nd and 24, by the way.
Oh my God.
2nd and 24.
They out here playing with these teams. They out here playing with teams.
3rd and 12, and then they score a touchdown. I mean, but not to get off subject, but yeah, like they got a nice team in Green Bay. I still think they could use maybe another receiver, like a good veteran receiver or somebody. They got the quarterback, they got the running back definitely. But
I got a question for you.
I don't know, man. I just feel like we'll see come playoff time. They might surprise some people, or they might surprise me. Win a couple
if you're
games.
Green Bay,
if they go one and done.
Well, I will say this. Oh, go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, if you're Green Bay, do you go get one of the Jets receivers? Do you bring a Devontae Adams back, or do you go try to get a Garrett Wilson?
I mean, it'll be harder for them to get Garrett Wilson versus Devontae Adams. And Devontae Adams does he want to go be back in Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers is not his quarterback because he seems to be, I want to go play with Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, and nobody else.
Well, both of them brothers about to be out the league, so
right.
Make a
I would say this about Green Bay: one of the hardest things to do in the NFL is beat a team 3 times in one season.
Yep.
I
The
have
Saints beat
seen,
us 3 times
huh?
in the playoffs. The Saints beat us 3 times 1 year in the playoffs. We didn't even talk
Oh
about
well, yeah,
it.
and we beat Philly 3 times one year in 2009. So I mean, you're right.
Yep.
Um,
One of
I
our
will
4
say,
playoff
but I've
wins in the
also
last
seen the
15
Giants.
years.
I also seen the 2007 Giants lose to the Packers, the Cowboys twice, and the Patriots, and then beat all 3 of them in the playoffs. So
Mm.
today it's any given Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Um, they did it in 2011 where they lost to the Packers, the 49ers, and the Patriots, and then beat them all in the playoffs again. So to sit here, and it ain't like they got blown out. They were close in every game. Play here, play there. We could be talking about a different game, a different topic. So I wouldn't say complete frauds. It's just the other team has got the best of them, and we'll see. Best thing about playing a team again, you can't get any worse. You can only get better. And if you won that game, how do you find your flaws to play them again? And I think Shannon Sharp said that's the hardest thing to do is to beat a team twice. Because now they know what they did wrong. They can work on that. Whereas y'all play so well, where do you go from there?
Right.
So we'll see. I think they could. I think they can beat Philly, Green Bay, or Detroit. Philly, Minnesota, or Detroit in the playoffs. I think they can beat it.
I think Detroit look good right now. I think next week is going to show us a lot about Detroit. I just worry about when you get into the playoffs, football changes, and not having 22 players is. I think that's when it's going to really rear its head. Is like, especially if you lose next week, and you got to go on the road. Who is their first game on the road if they lose?
There'll be a 5 seed, so whoever wins the NFC South, so probably Tampa Bay.
Which I would not, I would not want to go play a Tampa in Tampa right now, especially Tampa ain't no slouch. Y'all call the NFC South a slouch, but
But
it's one thing
see,
I'll say: Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield can play ball. I like Baker because Baker comes to play ball. You can hit Baker in the mouth, he can keep coming back.
yeah, I mean Tampa's been up and down this year.
Yeah.
And they almost beat him last year with our head coach as their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Tampa
No,
Bay's
Chris
been up and
Godwin.
down to me. I don't really know
Yeah.
if I say I'm scared of them come playoff time.
Yeah.
You may not be scared, but
I would be more fearful to
I
play
mean,
the Rams.
I'm respectful.
Rams,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Rams
I mean,
almost beat them when they were healthy.
I respect Tampa Bay. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, I don't put them up there as those teams like a Rams team or a Philly team right now. They're just red hot that I would want to play.
I think Philly gonna lose first round.
I hope
If
so.
they play Green
You have
Bay,
Jalen Hurts coming back off an injury.
Hey, Nick Sirianni gone if they do.
if they play Green Bay,
See?
because right now
Oh
Green
yeah,
Bay's the 7th seed. So if they play Green Bay, I got Green Bay winning.
man, I would love, man. Whoo, you want to talk about everyone's on Philly bandwagon right now, or we got them talks again about best team in football, best receivers. They get up on you and they just run, run, run. That's why Saquon got all them yards. They just get out early leads on teams and they just run the football, protect that lead, control the clock. Boy, you imagine if they lose to a 7 seed in the playoffs at home.
Remember, Green Bay did it
Oh
last year.
my! Again, that's what I'm saying. They do it again this year. Dallas won't look so bad then.
No, they
No,
still gonna look bad.
Yeah, they still
Still look bad. You can hope.
I am
All right.
hoping. I hope that man tough. Eagles. Look, Philly need to make like an eagle and lay a freaking egg in the playoffs. You
Let's go
gotta
to
lay
somebody.
multiple eggs.
Let's get somebody to peeking. Are the
Baltimore.
Ravens peaking at the right time?
They are.
Yeah.
They are. Defense is not giving up a lot of points. And they haven't given up no points in 6 quarters.
They gave up a layup to the Texans.
Well, now Derrick Henry
Bro,
gave
that's
that.
bad.
Derrick Henry ran backwards for whatever reason. I still don't get that. But yeah, Baltimore. They're very. I will say threat to Kansas City will probably have to be Baltimore.
I think everybody's a threat to Kansas City because I say that because I
You
watched
don't think
Kansas City
Buffalo?
play us. I watch Kansas City play us, and I don't think Kansas City is. We almost beat Kansas City.
Yeah,
Carolina almost beat Kansas City.
almost beat Philly.
We almost beat Philly. So
two tough teams.
we're a year away, baby. We're a year away.
You said that 2 years ago.
Hey, look here. I ain't NASCAR. I ain't NASCAR. I ain't NASCAR. We got injuries. All right. We lost Derrick Brown first game. Rico Duato had a career day against us, so we ain't gonna talk about that. But I think Baltimore's peaking at the right time. I think Lamar Jackson should be the MVP, but I don't think he's gonna give it because I think they want to give Josh Allen one.
That'll be 2 years in a row where a guy had better stats than the eventual winner that didn't win MVP.
I think Ryan Clark said it best. It's the Charles Barkley MVP award. Remember that year they gave it to Charles Barkley because they didn't want Jordan to win it again?
I really hate when they do that. Like, give it to the best player. So what if you win 3, 4, 5 years in a row? Like, he had the best numbers. Give it to him.
If you're gonna give it to the best player, Saquon. The Eagles would not be where they are without Saquon.
But that's what I said. If Saquon breaks the record, you got to get. I feel like he could be the MVP.
If he would have broke the record yesterday, then yes. But no, extra game to break the record. Nope.
I think they want him to break it against the Giants. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's not gonna play. I think they're gonna let Saquon break that record against the Giants.
You get around there and get hurt. This same team that I know they didn't do their due diligence, or they didn't do what they were supposed to do in trying to retain him. But there's some hurt feelings in that front office. I'm betting. He went and left them, and not only left them for a rival.
No, he didn't leave him. He didn't leave him, Trigga.
My thing of it is, I don't think
he could have resigned.
No, you saw Hard Knocks. The Hard Knocks. The owner said, I will not be able to sleep at night if we let Saquon go and he goes to Philly. He's going to Philly and he's about to break the rushing record on your head.
You don't think they feel
kind of way? The Giants should be fired.
You don't think
you fired Joe Sheik.
You don't think the message in that locker room is make sure he don't do nothing. These guys ain't got nothing.
Dexter Lawrence isn't playing. You can't stop it.
These guys ain't going nothing to lose. They're gonna go out there and try to kill that man. So what if you get hurt before the playoffs?
Man, that's my thing.
Are you playing against your former team? They got hurt feelings. There's a record on the line, and
he broke the record on y'all last game. If it was a fifth,
all-time rushing record, most rushing yards in a season record. Yeah. He's within
your head. How can you stay a GM if that happens? I'm going off that, but how can you stay as the GM if Saquon comes back in and breaks that record on y'all? After you said that we can.
That's what I'm saying. Like they probably done told the team, look, by any means necessary, don't let them get that record. And they got nothing to lose, so
you right
out there and try to stop him. They're gonna do everything they can to stop him. He go down in a pile of something. Somebody go down there and grab his ankle or twist it or something. I'm telling you.
And then my thing, here's my issue with your argument, Trey, about he shouldn't win the MVP because he did it in 17 games. There was one point where OJ, he ran for 2,000 yards and he
14 games.
14 games. Where ED, it took 16.
16 games.
So I just think, that's just the nature of the game.
That's what I don't get either, Mal. Like everybody's saying, oh, he did it. Like, no. OJ did it in 14.
Yeah.
The record was broken 16. So, okay, it's broken in 18. That's like, okay. That's
17.
17 games.
Right, well, I'll give y'all that.
Yeah, you're right. 17 weeks.
I'll give y'all that.
That's crazy. OJ did it in 14 games.
14 games, bro.
Say what you want about OJ's post-football career. That man was an animal on the well, let me use a better term. He was a hell of a football player on the field.
Orthol James Simpson.
Yeah, I was about to say he was a killer on the field, but that's
you about to get us killed.
What is Orenthal? Who the hell came up with that? Where did that name come from? I ain't never in my life.
So we're gonna make a transition.
His name was Orenthal.
Orenthal, James.
It sounds like some kind of medicine you got at the drugstore.
Right, it sounds like something you take for like
Pepto-Bismol.
You got that at the right eye.
Tylenol. Orenthal.
You got that at Eckerd. You got that out Eckerd.
You got that at Orenthal in the cabinet.
Go down to Eckerd and get that
Tylenol, that Pepto-Bismol, that Orenthal right there.
Your stomach hurt? Go take some of that Orenthal. All right, let's make this transition. It's gonna be a transition, but it's not a transition. NBA versus NFL on Christmas. Did the NBA say we are Christmas Day?
The games were better. But
yes,
the NFL still
100%.
killed in views. I
NFL
think,
killed them in they killed them in views.
yeah.
I
And
tell you what, I was annoyed with NFL the whole week of Christmas because I'm like, well, y'all trying to be the NBA, the MLB, having these games every day. You know, all these teams playing 2 days, two
Ooh.
games in 6 days, and all this. Like, I'm just like, what's the
Yeah, great
need?
tomatoes.
yeah.
And every time they play on a day that's not Sunday, they on a different streaming service. You got Amazon Prime. Now we got to get Netflix subscriptions to watch them play.
Then you got to go for next year. You're gonna have to get I don't want to say it. I was about to say get your Pornhub subscription to watch a game and
What in a
all this
couple
other
of
kind
years?
of.
I'm trying to figure out. They're getting these big TV deals to sign these contracts. Why are we putting these games
Because
on these streaming services instead of on
Netflix and
TV?
Amazon, they paying you for one game. They paying you what some of these TV people pay you for a whole season.
It's gonna get to a point where they're gonna have these NFL games on pay-per-view.
But I got a question for y'all, and this is that just for this topic I thought about. What is Christmas Day if you don't have KD, LeBron, or Steph this year?
Like it was before they was there.
It's no views. If you don't have KD, LeBron, and Steph this year,
Oh, I disagree because I mean, there was one point when they weren't playing and the NBA was still, flourishing. You had Shaq, Kobe, Timmy, K.
Yeah, stars will come and go. I
Yeah, stars
mean,
come and go. You got Joker.
LeBron's a once in a lifetime player. Like you're not going to find a bunch of dudes that can or that
well,
will do what he's going to do.
we say that, but in our lifetime, we done had Jordan and LeBron.
I mean, yeah, but still, like
So,
you
but like,
got any other players right now on the horizon that's going to do what you think what LeBron has been able to do?
right.
What did LeBron? You mean like break
I-
his? We looked at
I'm talking about-
We looked at 3-point record. We saw the 3-point record, and to see how many people when Steph Curry passed Reggie, we were like, that's crazy. But to see where it is now, it's like Reggie's 6.
Well, that's because everybody's shooting threes now. So it's like back then, it's like if you shot threes, you were a specialist. Like it meant something. Now everybody's doing it. So like
I think
it's no surprise to me that a bunch of guys who are playing now have caught up or even passed guys like Reggie Miller and Ray Allen on the all-time list.
yeah, it's like Larry Bird was, known for being a great 3-point shooter. He only has 653 made. Steph Curry had 6 times.
It wasn't a shot that they were looking to, like they weren't coming down jacking threes at the rate that they do now.
Yeah.
So the most watched
The next
NBA
2 years,
game
Devin
this
Booker
year
gonna be up there.
was the Lakers and Golden State, and it peaked at 8.5 million viewers toward the finish. That was up 511% from the same time of Christmas last year.
I also have to say the reason why that game was probably the most viewed because there wasn't an NFL game on that time during that time. I think that Baltimore game was just going off.
And that was a good game. The Lakers Golden State game, me, Elijah, and all the boys, we watched. That was a good game. But you telling me you had 8 million at your peak, but at least 65 million tuned in for Christmas Day on the NFL side? At least 65 million with 2 games. So let's split it up. But that's 30 million per game. Yeah. 30 million.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the NBA won Christmas Day because of the games that they had and the matchups. But I think NFL will win Christmas and the longevity, especially when it goes to a Thursday or a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday.
It's on a Thursday next year.
Yeah, like think about the matchups you have next year on Thursday. So then you got Thanksgiving, and then 4 weeks later you're gonna have Christmas, and then you're gonna have. So now you have Thursday with Thanksgiving, then you have Friday with Black Friday. Then NFL, oh, we got Christmas on Thursday, so let's do a Christmas game. Then we're gonna have a Friday game. Then you got the NCAA playoffs and all the other kind of stuff. Like, man, NBA needs. They need an end-season tournament and the NCAA. Because I think basketball is becoming especially when football starts to pick up. I think the NBA is going to lose a lot of viewership because when you have LeBron, Steph, KD, I know you can replace them, but like y'all said, Anthony Edwards need to go to a bigger team. He can't be in one of these small markets if you want him to be the face. John Morant can't be Memphis if you want him to be the face. If you get Zion out of New Orleans and put him somewhere and he gets right, okay. Victor Wembanyama, Giannis, Luca, all your players that you're going to lean on are not going to be American. So you're not going to have that. I hate to say it, you're not going to have that patriotic feel that people get from having Americans play. I mean, they love the game, but they like to root for American
My
stars. That's why
question
the
is, do people really even
Olympics.
care about the international thing?
Look at the Olympics. I would have said no before I saw the Olympics this year. Watching Steph Curry, LeBron, and all them play like they played in the Olympics.
I just think the older generation. I just don't think the younger generation would care about where the players are from. I think that's more so of the old head. Me personally.
They don't watch, but you got to realize the younger generation gonna watch it on streaming services. They're not getting on a TV and watching it on TNT. They watching it on Amazon. They watching it on Netflix. So you're gonna have to have 800 services to have all these games, and that's what sucks too. I think that's the other thing with the NBA. You got to have League Pass to watch all these games and watch your teams. It used to be you just had TNT. I can watch TNT and I at least see the basketball Tuesdays. What Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? I forgot. It's been so long.
So Thursday on TNT and then ESPN Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah, but we shall see. All right, moving on. Trigga. Talk about the Rumble in the Jungle 2024.
Man, if I'm getting my ass whipped, I'll be mad too, I guess.
Short and sweet.
But yeah, that was a little excessive. I get it, if you're an athlete, you've been competing, you want to win, emotions get heated and you just do things sometimes. But, I don't know if Tyler had been chirping to him or had said something or done something to him previously that wasn't shown. Like I always say, the second man's the one that gets caught. So, yeah, but I know Tyler, and the Rockets and whoever else, ain't been the only team that he's been putting up numbers against. So, I mean, he's having a great year. Shout out to Tyler Hero, by the way. He's the only bright spot on the Miami Heat this season. He's been consistent. He should be an all-star. Obviously there's still a lot of season left. So we'll see if he's able to continue. But, hell, if I'm, a black NBA player and I'm getting my ass handed to me by a white boy, I guess I'll put my hands on him and toss him on the ground.
Don't put that in there.
You can't stop him defensively. You got to do something, right?
Hey, my man hip dropped him like bad. I was like, oh, look at that technique. I was like, look at that technique.
He took both hands and just tossed him to the ground. I'm just like, damn.
I don't know
if Tyler popped up, like he was gonna do something. I don't think he was. But,
I don't know if y'all saw it. It was like the Desi Banks skit. I saw they said that's how he popped up. Like, you ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
The way that man just threw you, you ain't doing nothing.
But I get it, man. Tyler, if he won't get thrown on the ground by this point, I'll be worried. But he's doing something to get under these players' skin, and I like it.
Scoring.
If you can't win the game, win the fight.
Hit the game win against Orlando the other night. I mean, he's having a great year so far, man. I mean, he's definitely all-star worthy. And if you don't get,
he didn't hit the game winner against Detroit though. When I was in person,
he didn't. But again, if he's not an all-star, something's wrong. He should be.
I think. Yeah, that was. I was gonna say Mallz in the Palace, but I don't want to bring up that bad stuff. That's why I said Rumble in the Jungle 2024. All right.
I mean, I had it on my mind.
let's move on. Not that one. Lakers and Nets trade. Trigga, Mallz, what's y'all analysis of this?
I really haven't been keeping up on it, so I'm
I haven't either.
The only thing I saw, I was comparing stats. D'Angelo Russell's stats are better than Shake Milton's, but I feel like the Lakers won the trade because they got 2 for 1. And they got two guys who are role players. So they're not asking either of them to do anything. It's not like they're going out and they got they got D'Angelo Russell come in and score. Like we saw him score before he got to LA. Who else did they come in and get to try to put up numbers, but they couldn't because of the LeBron AD effect. But every team LeBron's gone to where he's gotten other superstar players to play with him, like their points per game, all these numbers they put up, they take a hit because you're deferring to LeBron. So
is that a detriment?
I think to some players more than others. Like if you're
Kyrie and AD.
Like Kyrie and AD, like they're still going to get theirs playing next to LeBron. Like they're not going to completely drop off, but they're still going to be effective. But if you're a D'Angelo Russell, like you're a guy like that's in a lower tier. If you're not a superstar player, like a D'Angelo Russell, Gabe Vincent, they went out and got Gabe Vincent after he had that great year in Miami, and he has not done anything since he's been in LA. I don't even know if he's still on the roster.
He is. He's there.
But like, you go out and get players like that, like, it's almost like they have to change their game completely or they become irrelevant. And like with D'Angelo Russell, like he's been a part of these trade rumors for, every time the Lakers get mentioned in it, his name pops up. And, it's funny because every time his name popped up, he would ball out. Like he'd go like on a 3, 4, 5 game streak where he's scoring, 25, 30 points.
Look what you can get. Look what you can get.
Like, you might want to think twice about, before you deal me. But this time he was not able to escape him. They ended up pulling the trigger on it. They sent him to Brooklyn, where he's probably going to be the number one scoring option now based on what they have on that team.
Yeah.
And he can probably be more of himself again. And I think you'll see his points per game and all that go up now because he will be a more primary option in Brooklyn versus being a 3rd, 4th, 5th option in LA. So, it's funny how those things work sometimes. But I think he's better off individually, for his sake, for his confidence, to go play for a team like Brooklyn right now who's clearly rebuilding, and he can kind of get himself back out there again, increase his stock so that maybe if he does get dealt in the via trade again, he can actually go somewhere and he's able to contribute rather than just kind of be a body filling a spot. But the Lakers got 2 good players back, 2 good role players. Dorian Finney-Smith is more of a, defensive guy, rebounder.
He'll shut Jason Tatum down. That's
he'll get you points. He'll average about 10 or 12 points a game. He'll rebound the ball. 6, 7 rebounds a game. You got Shake Milton, who's a good backup guard. Like to come in and like kind of get things started, and he can score a little bit. He averages about 10 points a game as well, which was a little bit less than what D'Angelo Russell was giving you. But they're not going to ask him for the production that they were looking for Russell.
Let me ask you something, Trigga. Is Shake, Dalton Connect, and Rui a good combination to have on the floor at one time?
Who are my bigs out there?
You got your Jackson Hayes. You got a Christian Wood.
Christian Wood is still with the Lakers?
I believe so. He may have got traded, but Jackson Hayes, I believe, is still there. I don't know because he got that little video that came out, so I don't know that.
Yeah, I think Shake Milton, like if he comes in and he's running the show like that, that's what they bring him in for.
And you let Dalton Connect just go drift off somewhere.
Yeah, bring him in with that second unit and just let him, go to work.
And you got Gabe Vincent still too. You got Gabe Vincent and Gabe Shake. And
I can imagine Gabe Vincent will be playing more than Shake Milton since they just got him over in a trade. But it could happen. I don't know. But Vince has been there that long, and they still look past him to where they felt like they had to go out and get another guard to come in.
That's true.
Like, I don't know.
So let's go to we can go to Draymond's comments. I'm gonna play the video. And
anything I'll say it right into the mic. I don't give a damn. So it was needed. And we need Buddy Hield to play great. We need Buddy Hield to make shots. And we have all the confidence in the world that Buddy will make shots. But we got a post feed and you got a 6-foot guy on you, keep the ball there. It's simple. We're 16 and 15. We don't love this. So do we just keep doing the same thing and sit back on our hands like, oh, it's going to change at some point, and do you make it change? I know what it looks like to win. I know what it takes to win. So as a leader, it's on you to figure out what it takes to help this team win. And if that's mixing it up with a guy every now and then, that's yelling, then you do that. But don't be the guy that can't be yelled at. And I'll never be that guy. You know, a teammate yell at me, great. I may say something back. Oh well, guess what? Buddy said something back to me. We're not dictators. It's just what you say doesn't go and everyone has to listen. No, he said something back. I said something back. He said something back. I said something back. Great. And we moved on. And that's how it's got to be. It's not always going to be peaches and cream, whoever thinks that are idiots. Lost 3 in a row. And we have a turnover in a critical part of the game where we need to get a good shot. Let's get that shot. You know? I've happened to play a lot of championship basketball, a lot of meaningful basketball. Buddy hasn't had the opportunity to play a bunch of meaningful basketball in this league. Guess what? It's our job to make sure he understands what that means. And if people don't like it, so be it. That's why they don't have 4 championships and I do.
Air ball. You're just trying to think about your shot selection. Draymond had to shoot that with his shot clock running down.
But you saw Draymond's philosophy there. Hey, wake the fuck up! Enough of the sloppy passes. We got to win this game. Everybody has to be accountable.
All right, fellas, what's your thoughts on
Draymond? Draymond ain't nothing but a damn bully. He picks on who he know he can pick on. You know, he talking about somewhere. That don't be the person who can't be fussed at back. So, what was your reason for punching Jordan Poole's lights out?
Oh, don't bring that up, bro.
Because he fussed at you back, but then you punched his lights out.
He assaulted me, man.
Draymond ain't nothing but a damn bully. He picks on who he know he can pick on. And when people like Zach Randolph or DeMarcus Cousins check up on him, he's quiet as a Christmas mouse. I ain't buying what the Draymond saying. He a bully. He do that to Buddy Hill because he know he can get away with it.
Trigga.
No, I think Draymond is absolutely right. If you and I say this, from a college basketball, I played, at a high level. I've been yelled at by coaches. They've done things, said
Hall
things
of Fame
to me
level.
to try to get me going, and but Draymond's absolutely right. I mean, it may not be right coming from him, but in theory, that's how this shit works. Because if you got a guy on your team that is capable of doing more and being better, and you as a leader sitting there and letting them kind of just get away with, playing mediocre, that's really on you. Like, if you see a guy who needs to be doing his job is not doing his job, it is on you. It is on other guys on the team to do something to light a fire under him, to get him going. So that's why you hear that little comment. He said, wake the F up or go sit the F down. Like, all that is him just trying to get a guy that they need. Because he said it several times throughout the interview that, we need him to make shots, need him to get going. So it's my job, it's our job to make sure that he knows that and that we show him that and that we tell him that. So that's all that is. Like, again, I know it's Draymond and, some of what he said may be contradictory to what he's done in the past, but the message overall is right. And like, it doesn't just go with basketball. It goes with any sports, any level of sports that you're competing, because, it's just a way to try to get guys to do what they're capable of doing when you need them to do it the most. And they felt like, in the midst of a losing streak, and, an important part of the game or an important moment in the game where, he didn't do what he was supposed to do, or he was dragging ass, and Draymond called him out on it. That's what you want your leaders to do. That's what championship teams do. That's what a championship culture is. It's not always pretty. It's not always, sexy and and peaches and cream. You know, a lot of it is gritty, it's dirty. You know, it's not for the public to see. And a lot of people in the public don't, won't understand it. But that's what it is. I can't tell you the number of times that I've been jumped, by teammates for not doing something. I can't tell you the number of times that I may have jumped somebody for not doing what they're supposed to do. It's all part of the game.
Trigga, you jumping people.
I don't.
Trigga out here cussing people out.
I
Yeah,
don't.
Trigga, and
I don't. I really don't.
You gotta come off that fucking player screen, man.
If I really get upset at somebody, they've been doing it like repeatedly over. I give people multiple chances, more chances than they deserve before I say something. Like, you get other guys, you do things one time and then they all over you. But with me, like I'm usually pretty patient. Like with if somebody does something over and over and over and over and over again, and it's costing us, then I might say something. But if you do it once, twice, 3 times, whatever, I might not say a whole lot to them because I know I'm probably gonna go and make a mistake or do something. And my whole thing is I'm not going to be calling the guy out, and I go turn around and do the same thing he did. But sometimes things need to be said, and if they need to be said, then obviously coming from one of your leaders on the team, it holds more weight, it's more effective, they're more likely to receive it. But I would caution Draymond to be careful. The only thing that I don't agree with is you're yelling at guys. Like that works with some players. Other players, it could be a mind fuck. Like some guys get too honed in on, instead of the message, they honed in on how the message was sent. And they, that takes over everything in their head, and now they're second guessing stuff that they weren't even, thinking about prior. Like they're second guessing everything, and it messes with them, and it messes with their performance. So some guys, although they need to kick in the pants to get yelled at, whatever, and it works. Other guys, they don't respond well that way. So that's the only thing I probably don't agree with them with is, hey, you need to yell at, like it's ways to get your message across without being out of line or using a certain tone.
I agree. Well, I agree with you saying. The message is right. I don't think that's what Draymond was doing. Draymond,
Yeah, he took a little shot.
If that was Ron Artest or Ben Wallace or one of these street NBA players, he's not telling them to wake the fuck up or sit the fuck down, calling them bitches. He picks on who he know he can pick on. But I agree with you. The message is right, but that's not what he's doing. He's bullying.
The message is right, and I'm sorry, Mallz.
I'm just saying, if it was a real NBA goon, he's not telling someone to, I think it was a video where it was DeMarcus Cousins got in his face, and Draymond was quiet as a mouse. He picks on who we know he can pick on. And that's my issue. I agree with you. The message is right, but that's not what he's doing.
I agree with you too, Trigga.
That's fair.
And I agree with Mallz because you can say all that without taking that shot. Oh, I know what it is to play championship basketball. Like I feel like he took a shot at him, and it's just I
thought he was being truthful because Buddy Hield ain't been in a lot of
I know that
play championship ball,
but you don't got to do it publicly.
And let me just yes, Draymond.
I know, but I felt like Draymond had to say that just so people, just to kind of put emphasis on what he was saying. Like I have the credentials to do this because
that's Draymond. I know that's Draymond.
Well, he's not the only guy to say that though. Everybody else is use that argument quickly. Like we see the video of Kobe Bryant doing this. We see Klay Thompson say he had 4 rings. No one said
Klay did say Klay got 4 rings.
We see plenty of guys like when they really want to flex, they'll bring it up in a heartbeat. But I felt like, even though Draymond, he came off as a flex or whatever, y'all felt like he's taking a shot at Buddy. Like, he was right what he said. Like, he's got 4 championships. He knows what it takes to win. He's been around a winning culture. He knows that Buddy Hield hasn't played winning basketball. He's trying to, and his teammates are trying to show him what that's like. Like, he's not wrong in that assessment at all. Because how many NBA Finals has Buddy Hield played in?
How many
playoff runs has he been on?
How many Steph Curry, Klay Thompson like players has Buddy Hield had as well?
Come on now.
I know, but I'm still. I mean, again, I know Draymond ain't Steph or he ain't Klay, but You can't tell me he ain't playing an important role on those teams. Like
He
But
played
you
Draymond
ain't
also
got
ain't
to
Draymond.
necessarily,
but when
you ain't necessarily got to be the best scorer. Like look at Dennis Rodman and his role on those teams. I'm not comparing Draymond to Dennis. I'm just saying Dennis wasn't a scorer like Jordan and Pippen and the other guys who were putting the ball in the basket. But
I
his
got a
role,
sports
you know,
liquor going on right now.
being the enforcer, hitting the boards, that's important. Like to win a game of basketball, like you got guys who can score, but you need guys who can rebound. You need guys who can defend. You need guys, you know, who can be physical. You can
Don't
get
act
all
like
that from
Draymond
one
didn't cost
player.
him 5. Draymond cost him 5.
You
They
can
would have had
get
5 rings if Draymond
you
wouldn't have hit LeBron the groin.
see, and that's what I'm saying. Importance right there, right? So um you can get all of those qualities out of one player. That's great. But it takes a team. You know, it's even better if that one player doesn't have to do all those things.
and are
Everybody else
we
can take the
sure that
load off.
Brandon? Are we sure that they would have won 5? Because if that's the case, why they ain't win Game 6 or Game 7? If Draymond is that dude,
Draymond suspended for which one was he suspended for?
he
5
was
or he's
suspended for Game
Well,
5, but
sometimes, you know,
you still
momentum,
had
my
Game 6.
brother.
You still had Game
Momentum.
6. You still had Game 6 and Game 7.
Momentum.
the Big Mo?
Let
The
me
Big
tell you how
Mo.
that. Let me tell you how that happens. It's the same way the Yankees in the Game 1 of the World Series, right? They were
Ready.
leading. They were leading in the ninth inning, right? When Freddie Freeman came to the bat, they were up what 3-2 before he hit that grand slam. And I told y'all that game right there turned that whole series. That game right there turned that whole series. When Freddie Freeman hit that grand slam and they stole Game 1, I think that got into the Yankees' head and that affected them for the rest of the series.
Because one in the clincher when y'all was up what like 5-0?
Yeah.
Again, Game 1.
That's coaching though. Don't put a cold pitcher
It's
that ain't
not.
pitched the play.
It ain't coach. Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
hit
it is that. You're right. But because of that first game, when he put that pitcher in there, it came back and it haunted them, right? So same
That's
thing
true.
in the NBA, like in the series, it's a 7-game series. Any one of those games can be a momentum swing. We almost saw it a couple years ago when Miami was up 3-0 on Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Boston almost came back and won. Like when they won Game 6 on that tip-in basket, Derek White got at the last second, you could almost see it in Miami's body language that they just lost that series. It's
Shout
just
out.
3-3 going back to Boston for Game 7, but to be up 3-0 and then lose 3 straight games, you would think right there that would take a team out. And it took Jason Tatum getting hurt and for Miami to have an all-world Game 7 for them to pull that out. But series changed. Like when Draymond missed that one game, that affected them for the rest of the series.
And then the block.
Even when he came
I
back.
can't say effect for the rest of the series. Because if you remember that Game 7, they was up by 9 at halftime.
Being up 9 don't mean nothing. It might as well be a 1-point lead. Look how many 25-point lead Miami done blew this season.
Yeah. All right, but shout out to a sponsor for our show, Happy Gilmore 2, coming out here soon. The sponsor for our show. Thank you, Happy Gilmore 2. But all right, let's dive into the next one, fellas. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Bowl game recap. So far with all the bowl games, what have been y'all biggest shocks and y'all biggest letdown and disappointments?
You talking about the playoffs?
Playoffs, regular bowl games, all of it.
Oh, I don't really watch the bowl games.
I think
Playoffs.
Colorado got blown out. I didn't see that coming.
Hey.
Shador Sanders talking about playing with the Giants. Like he already playing for the Giants.
Oh, that's crazy. That's fucking. Hold on, side note. Let me go back. Mallz, how Trigga gonna go? Oh, he said the F word, and then Trigga gonna say the F word. You said Draymond said the F word, and then you said the F word.
Because I was trying to. I forgot. I should have forgot where I was.
Well, what happened is I got checking in the savings, and all the money's in my savings, and it take 2 business days.
FCC, please don't find us. I'm sorry.
We ain't got no money.
We can do whatever we want to do. You can do it, but I'm mad you blocked it out and then you said it. Just say it both times, bro.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
But
I forgot when I said it, and then when I almost said it the second time, I remember probably should just I was trying to be PG.
We on Twitch. Twitch, you can say what you want, and we're on YouTube too as well. So it don't matter. They like that shit. All right, here we go though. I think for me, I'm disappointed Cam Moore didn't go back in that second half and win that game for his team and go out on that. And I'm kind of disappointed in Colorado because I thought they were going to come out and win and do more with all the video and everything y'all was talking. I think it hurt everybody's draft spot. Go ahead, Trick.
Yeah, the Cam Ward situation. Did he pull himself out, or did the coach pull him? Because I've been
He pulled
seeing
himself
mixed.
out.
He pulled
I
himself
was
up.
seeing mixed reactions, saying one or the other on Twitter. I didn't know which one was true.
Is that the coach?
I've been reading that he pulled himself out, but I mean,
I heard he
I
pulled
don't
himself
know.
out too.
I don't. I mean,
Okay, that's the majority of what I say. I think everyone's saying that he pulled himself, and there's a few people that said the coach made the call, but I wouldn't.
Once he got the record, he pulled himself. Once you got the touchdown record, he pulled himself.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, honestly, at this day and age, I really can't get mad at that. The NFL, NFL players are making all this type of, money. I just can't risk getting hurt. I mean, I know he wanted the record. It looks bad. All right, I got my record and I'm pulling out.
Yeah, it looks selfish.
But Dion, they got the insurance policies on their players, and Colorado paid for it. So now you can get an insurance policies to where who was Jonathan Brooks? We drafted Jonathan Brooks in the second round with the torn ACL.
How do these insurance policies work?
I think it's kind of like what happened. What was the guy's name that y'all drafted from Michigan that got hurt? Jalen Smith.
Jalen
Yeah.
Smith.
I think
He
it
Long
like with
time
him.
ago.
He went to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
I think it pays you. Let me see. I don't want to speculate. Under the insurance program, athletes receive a one-time lump sum payment if they're eligible for benefits falling to a month's total of incapacity. Due to incapacity to play professionally, this reimbursement helps compensate for the loss of future earnings and is tax-free.
I'm sure it's not $80 million, which Cam Moore can make. I mean, I'm sure it's
But I
something.
mean, if you what? But my thing is, you can get hurt going to the combine. You can get hurt going to a pro day.
All right, but how often do you see that? What is more likely to happen? Get hurt?
How often do you see players get hurt in bowl games?
Huh?
How often do you see players get hurt to where they can't play in bowl games?
They get hurt in bowl games and they do it in a combine. If they get hurt in the combine, it's like a non-contact.
Did Shador or Travis Hunter get hurt?
Huh?
Did Shador or Travis Hunter get hurt?
No. Okay.
When did JJ McCarthy get hurt?
He got hurt in training camp. Contact, though.
When did Teddy Bridgewater get hurt?
I don't know when he got hurt.
It was training camp. That was a big thing.
Oh.
Shout out Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay, what about Willis McGahee?
Lions.
Now, granted, I didn't have the national championship, but you can say Willis McGahee. I mean, you can name
Jalen Smith.
Yeah. So I mean, Skip Bayless said one of the realest things when you think
Dan
about
Campbell sound like Doc Rivers right now.
When you think about getting hurt, that's when you're gonna get hurt. You just gotta go and play. But
that's true. You just gotta play ball. You gotta go there and play ball. You gotta go there and play.
What's the score for now?
21-13. 21-13. We're gonna come back. We're gonna play good defense, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna take it to them. We got Giannis. We got Dame. We're gonna win this game. Okay.
All right, we got 2 minutes, y'all.
We got more than 2 minutes.
You said an hour and a half.
I mean, that was a soft one. I got plenty of time. That's up to you. I know y'all tired. Y'all old men.
Well,
But
I'm in the car, so you know.
Let's go.
Why are you in the car?
Huh?
Why are you in the car?
Cause all the TV's taken in my apartment.
Oh my goodness, your apartment. You outside. How about that?
I got kicked out of Happy Home.
All right, let's go to this. Let's talk about it. Oop, no, I don't want to see that. This right here. All right. College football playoffs. All right, what is any surprises, any major upsets, and what are we looking for the Final Four?
I don't think there's any surprises. I had Clemson winning, but I forgot that they play the home team. The home team plays in their home stadium. Ohio State and Tennessee was a toss-up for me. I had Tennessee, but I'm not surprised Ohio State won.
They broke two of Nico's moments.
I'm surprised at the fashion they won. But are we giving our picks?
We can't. But hey, Mallz, you can't see it, but I got my draft picks for my scouting and Madden in my book. That's how much I be scouting.
I see you.
So picks, I'm gonna go with y'all. I may not like it. I'm going with Texas. I'm going with. I want to pick Penn State, but some just tell me they're gonna lose this game.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go Texas. I'm gonna go Boise State. I'm gonna go Notre Dame, and I'm gonna go Ohio State.
Woo. Okay. Give me Oregon.
I don't trust Georgia with a backup quarterback.
Well, and that's my thing. I got Oregon. Give me Texas. Give me Notre Dame. And give me Penn State. Boise State. Nah. Ashton
Oregon,
Genty,
Texas, Notre Dame,
and Penn State. So I got the 1 seed, 5, 7, 6.
and I said Ohio State.
And it's at a neutral site, right?
Yep. All these are like, I can tell you where they are exactly. So tomorrow night we have Penn State at Boise. That's at State Farm Stadium in Glendale. And on Wednesday we have Texas, Arizona State at Mercedes-Benz, Oregon, Ohio State at the Rose Bowl, and Georgia, Notre Dame in New Orleans.
Okay, that's pretty much a home game for Georgia.
And then we also have Alabama, Michigan at 12 in Tampa, Louisville, Washington at 2 in Texas, El Paso, South Carolina, Illinois, and Orlando, Camping World, and Texas Bowl, LSU versus Baylor, NRG Stadium. And then it ends with Boise State versus Penn State at State Farm Stadium at 7:30 in Glendale for tomorrow's college football game.
Okay. All right, well, Trigga, who you got?
Texas. I said Boise, or did I say Penn State?
You said Boise.
I lied. I'm going Penn State. And then Notre Dame.
All right, Trigga.
Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Georgia.
Stop being a fan.
I'm not being a fan. I trust Gunnar Stockton against Notre Dame.
You a liar.
I do. You saw him play against Texas. He's just fine.
Lord, Notre Dame got to win. Okay.
What are you going to say?
I said Notre Dame got to win because Georgia win. You ain't gonna never let us let this down.
I'm not.
Did y'all see Gunnar Stockton come in and win that playoff game?
No, I expect him to win. I'll be more surprised if Georgia loses this game, honestly. I mean, he had a good showing against Texas, and Texas is a better team than Notre Dame, ain't it?
Sorry, y'all. I don't know. I do not know that, Trigga.
I'll tell you what. If Georgia's able to run the ball, they'll win this game.
Hey, you know what's crazy and what sucks? Texas, Arizona State is going to be a blowout in the second round of the playoff.
Probably.
And that's what I saw what BYU did to Colorado, I think is what Texas is going to do to Arizona State.
I think Penn State, Boise State ain't going to be close.
Ooh, you think they shut Ashton Genty down?
Man, what a catch.
I would say he'll probably get 100 yards, but outside of him, what else do they have?
So I was playing Mick in college football. I have Virginia State, and he had Boise State. And outside of Ashton Genty, he couldn't do nothing.
Right.
So that kind of like, in my mind, I haven't watched Boise, but I'm trying to think if y'all taking Ashton Genty out at halftime, were y'all up big or y'all was just better than all your competition?
And that's what
they
I'm saying.
did play
all their competition. And Ashton Genty, he was able to maneuver against subpar defenders. He's not going to be able to do that against Penn State.
Didn't they play Oregon? They lost to Oregon by 3 points, though. That's the other thing. They lost to Oregon by 3 points. Boise State is 37-34.
High-scoring game, too.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm kind of conflicted and torn because Penn State is like, are y'all won in Penn State, but are y'all going to win in, what did I say they were playing? Glendale, Arizona in the Dome? Because Ashton Genty going to run. Because I think he's mad that he lost to Heisman, and he probably going to go put 300 yards.
I mean, it don't matter if you're mad or not. If your line don't block for you, you can be pissed all you want, but your line got to block.
I'm glad and I'm excited for this because we started to get into the draft season, fellas. So 2025, we got a draft season, mock drafts, all that coming up.
Hey, Mallz, you funny. He said you can be pissed all you want. Your line still got a block.
I mean,
All right, Mallz. This is your topic. Set
Oh,
us off.
oh,
Set us off, Mallz.
I don't know why it's so funny, but it is.
I'm laughing because Trigga laughing.
yeah, that's why I'm
No, it's funny though. It's funny though, because I mean, you're right though. He said you can be mad, you can be pissed off all you want. The line still got a block. Yeah, they do.
All right.
They do.
Is NIL a problem?
It's starting to become a problem. I mean, and I'm just deferring off of what the head coach. You see it, coaches, legendary head coaches,
Basketball and football. Just
basketball and football are resigning, and they're all saying the same thing. NIL is a problem. Jim Larinaga for Miami.
What you call me?
Jimmy, let's say Jimmy L. He sat there and said, in 2022, we made the Final Four, and we had 8 players move. Yeah, I think it's becoming a problem. It's the Wild Wild West. The NCAA. I'm not against players making money. I'm all for them getting their money, but there's got to be some what's the word I'm looking for? Not what like it's got to be some policy set or some boundaries. You know, it's the Wild Wild West right now.
Probably some checks and balances somewhere.
Checks and balances. There you go.
So it's funny you said that because this is the article. How NCAA settlement could clean up Wild Wild West of NIL. So this is from the Florida State and all, from your team, your Florida State and all that kind of stuff. How can sharing $20.5 million in revenue with the athletes be a good thing for an athletic department? A lot. It's changing the face of collegiate athletics for the better. Alfred noted it's going to take away the so-called pay for play. It's going to put everyone on an equal playing field where you can participate at the cap level that you want to participate. So once we get this ruling in April, it's going to kind of establish a cap for NIL and revenue sharing model coming to college for student athletes. So it's going to be more of a. So let me see. It's going to be so if they do this, it's going to come into effect July 1.
Okay.
Year 1 will be messy, they say, but it's going to kind of establish some order to it to where you don't have a UNLV situation to where, hey, this third party said they're going to pay the quarterback $3 million and they didn't pay the check and all that kind of stuff. So I think NIL is a big problem right now, but I think they're going to work towards it. And like I said with Bill Belichick's coming in. He's bringing a GM, player personnel. He's bringing in all this kind of stuff. I think they're going to provide stability to it, and I think a lot of college coaches should – not college. A lot of NFL people should look at college because here's my thing with what I see. Bill Belichick gets in the UNC. How is development of players going to be now? So now, Bill Belichick, you have a direct line of developing players in college that brings out a better product for the NFL. And like we were talking about, I think with the NBA Europe and all that kind of stuff, I think it's all this is going to contribute to a better quality overall. So now it's like, hey, I don't need to go straight to the NFL because I have NIL. If I'm making $2-3 million a year with NIL in college, okay, I'll stay my 4 years, develop under coaches who know how to develop NFL players, make $8 million a year, and then I go into the NFL as a first-round pick and I get my $40 million then. So I think overall NIL could be a great thing for development if we get the right coaches and people in place. But I don't want to talk too much. What's your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I just have to wait and see. Or to get analysis on it. You know, I just don't think what they're doing right now is you know, college like Nick Saban said, college football and basketball will die if it continues doing the way it's doing. You're not gonna have any fucking coaches. Me and you gonna be coaching.
Well, hey, you brought up a good point. I said, Coach Trigga. Coach Trigga. Go ahead and go to.
Yeah, I'll coach all right.
Go to ACD.
But I understand what Trigga was saying. Trigga was like, you know, I could teach like, you know, how to play defense, but like X and O's is not my thing. And you know, I understand what he's saying because
that's why you get assistant coaches.
I can do X's and O's, like I can do defensive plays, but to teach you how to tackle and all that, I wouldn't be able to do that.
That's why I think they have, and that's the one thing about like the CEO coaches. I think is going to be a good thing. If you have a coach that is a good leader and a good CEO and a good culture setter, you can always hire the guys under you to teach all that other stuff. If you're good at talking and getting people to get on the same page and get on the same accord and just grow and learn together, I think you can always hire. Uh, I can hire Spider-Man Jennings to go out there and teach tackling.
Oh my God.
No, to run routes.
Yeah, run routes. Not in mud.
You're right though,
Not on
Brandon.
mud
I mean,
though.
you're right.
Running routes on defense.
Because I I look at Deion Sanders. You know, he got Warren Sapp. You know, last year Colorado had the worst defensive line in the NCAA, and then you bring in, you know, one of the best D tackles of all time in there. So.
And then you got Pat Shermer, you got Livingston doing defense. So you can always hire the people under you just if you have that aura. And that's the one thing, like Trigga, you have the aura to where you can find guys that can do the X's and O's for you, but you have the thing to where, like you said with the Draymond situation, to where you're on the court, you're on the thing. You're not gonna sit here and argue with a Hall of Famer when I say you need to go out there and close on that screen faster. Like, you're arguing with somebody that was working at Petco 2 years ago that knows basketball, but you're not going to argue with somebody who's been there, done that, and understands what it is to play at a high level. And I think that's in that conversation, I think that's where you sold yourself a little bit short on it. But the other side of it is I see, like you said, for me to be the athlete that I am, to be the coach that it would take so much dedication that I would take it away from my family, and I can't do it that way. So that's why I also saw that is 100% correct, because you're going to have to be there looking at the film. You're going to have to be there looking at everything and setting up the plans, the meal plans, development plans. Are you getting your grades? Why are you not going to class? Now I got to sit here and sit with you and get you into class, and what's going on in your home life. And like, it's so much to where I understand it on that side too.
I mean, you know, the classes, you know, there's ways to manipulate the classes. I mean,
look at this.
You gotta go out. You gotta go fix some grades, ain't it?
Yeah, manipulating the classes.
So like,
he got a
they
D.
like what they'll do. They'll put them in like they'll
he
put
got
them in like
A.
yeah. They'll put them in
How much I gotta pay you to give him an A?
Hey, you a teacher too? You an educator, Mallz. I don't want to hear that. You an educator. Hey, look.
But no,
we need this middle school player to play this Thursday. I need his grades to go up.
But like this players, like you could put him in like easy class, like you know, there's a dude who I officiate with. He said he played college football, and his major was art, and he didn't even know how to draw.
What?
So
you can study art history.
Yeah, art history. He said I don't even know how to fucking draw. So I mean, you know, the grades you can. There's ways to get the grades,
especially with online classes and all that.
Yeah, online classes. Hell, you don't know who's doing that.
We don't condone it here at Strictly Sports. We do not condone that. We got an educator on our midst that he doesn't condone that. He does not give his middle school students good grades so they can play basketball.
Shit, they ain't like they good anyway. They won one game in 2 years.
That's crazy. See, look, that's messed up. All right, fellas. Open floor. Anything else we want to talk about? We want to discuss? I'm gonna bring up. Trigga, are we doing a post show? We did a pre-show the other day. It was an hour. Are we doing a post show? We don't got to do it. It's all right. I got food.
Yeah, I forgot about it, honestly.
We can do a post show next time. It's all right.
Yeah, we'll make sure we do it next time. I didn't really have anything. Yeah, I didn't have anything I wanted to discuss, and I like to be prepared for one.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you one thing.
I would discuss something, but my lady came to my apartment with some red biker shorts. So I need to cuddle with her. So we need to wrap this up.
Hey, how you got you and your
all you doing is cuddling.
Turned into a car. You had to go sit in the car.
Well, no, because she's watching Gladiator, and then you know they watching TV, so you got to talk loud. You know I talk loud, so I ain't want to disturb them.
It's your house. You talk loud as you want to.
She put on the red biker shorts, so I know what that means. She said, "Don't be out there too long."
He can go in the house. She sleep.
I mean, hey, it's okay. You sleep. I got eyes. That's all I need.
You lucky dog. You lucky dog, boy. You
look,
I ain't trying to do nothing. I just like to look.
I'm in the same boat though.
No, she trying to
You
do
just got
something.
Trigga
Nah,
under a
she's 6
blanket. Trigga, you
she's
talking
6
about it?
feet,
You
dog.
under a blanket. That's why you want to do the post show.
Oh, no, I
You
was
under
down
that
here.
Georgia blanket.
I'm down here in this. Well, it's Miami Heat blanket for one, and two, it's y'all know it's cold in my basement.
Yeah, y'all
I
have been
don't
down
know
to
it's good.
Trigger's basement, man. It's like an igloo down there in the summertime.
Yep.
Well,
Wintertime too, even worse.
get you
Yeah,
some
you
heated
sleep
flooring. We
down
can put
there.
some new flooring in, some heated flooring for
Yeah,
you.
you
Get that
sleep
heat
down
going.
there. You wake up and gotta pee. You gotta make a business decision. Like, shit, do I really need to go to the bathroom?
Yep.
All right.
You're right.
So we're gonna do the post show maybe sometime other this week. Me and Trigga get together. We'll do a post show. But all right. This has been Strictly Sports. I'm B Wise.
I'm Trigga.
And I need to look at these red biker shorts. I'm out.
Peace. Love y'all.